I can't help how you feel, and I can't stop. I can't choose to not have Tourette's. So what can I do? Right?
You can start from when you were young.
Like what made me start?
Yeah, what made you started? What you were like when you were young?
Yeah. Obviously, I grew up in the era of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Jordan. So the weightlifting, obviously, we see it on TV. We watch Schwarzenegger movies. All right, he was basically the legend. The first opportunity where one of the electives I could take was weight training. Literally, the course was weight training. It wasn't like PE. It was literally weight training as an elective. So it was either Spanish or weight training. I was like, not even close, right?
What was your numbers back then?
Well, so the first time I maxed out on a clean ever, like learning the clean and doing it, I hit 100 kilos.
First time.
First time.
A lot of people struggle to get 100, and you did it on the first try.
It was. I think it was definitely just one of the strength movements that was biomechanically favorable for me, and I guess like the athleticism, sort of the requisite athleticism at the time. It was just maybe enough from all my sports training. I guess
you're squatting 140 when you're 50. That probably help. You know, the foundation you build up through the years.
Yeah, beltless. Yeah, I didn't have a belt. My mom didn't really like me weightlifting, so she wasn't paying for any equipment and stuff. Yeah. Tell you a funny story, actually. Elementary school, I was always bullied because I already had my Tourette's. I was always bullied. I was very kind of shy and kind of didn't talk to nobody, and so I didn't really know anything, right? And going into my first weight training class, my coach did ask if you have a belt, you can bring it next time. So next week, my coach was like, the strength coach was like, all right, did anybody bring a belt? So people were holding up belts, and I was like, whoa, those are weird looking belts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pulled up mine. I just took a belt from my dad's closet. I took a belt from my dad's closet. And so everybody was laughing. But the fact that everybody knew what a belt was, and I didn't know that there was a thing that's weightlifting belt existed, I thought it was like super indicative of how raw I was and how how at the bottom I was when I started.
So you mentioned that you have Tourette's. Can you tell us what it is and how it impacts your life?
Tourette's is it's a neurological disorder, I guess. It causes people to have tics. And I believe it's, the way it's explained to me, it's a chemical imbalance, right? Specifically of dopamine. Either I produce too much of it or I'm sensitive to it. I like to put it kind of akin to certain patterns of behavior that you do, and you're kind of unconscious of it and you can't really control it. So it's like, you know how when you play sports, let's say you're playing basketball and you're shooting a free throw. Some people always hit the ball a certain amount of times, and if they don't do it, they don't feel comfortable. They spin the ball, right? They'll set up their free throw, and it feels like it's almost like that. It's almost like you do it, and when they do it, it's not really you don't really know. It's not really intentional. It's just kind of subconscious. So, yeah, basically, for myself, obviously, it's my tics are going to be sound and and facial movements. So that's the major ones. I think. Luckily, I don't curse at people because that makes it hard for you to work in the service industry. If you want to look on the bright side, I don't have that tic.
How does it affect you? How does it affect you growing up? Back then, there weren't too much information on this type of disability.
Yeah.
And
So obviously, the era that I grew up in was obviously. I want to say like.
there were no Googles. There's no
Yeah.
internet. So
Information was just not there, right? So literally nobody would know in my school. Yeah, they'd just be like, "Why you grunting, bro?" You know, and it's just kind of like you don't have an answer for them. So you know, like kids being kids, like it just gets like it just becomes. I mean, it just literally becomes bullying after a certain point, right? And like, you're at a school for 3 to 5 years. You know, like the more comfortable people are bullying you, then the more they'll do it, and the more bold they become, right? Right. I had people like physically try to harm me, right, for no reason, right? I'd have people like. As I'm walking through the hallway, someone would just like slap books out of my hand, right? That's kind of like normal bullying, but like I know why they're doing it to me specifically, right? Because obviously they don't like me because I have Tourette's or whatever, right? I think that's where the sports kind of tie in. When you start playing sports and you have any type of success at it, I think you build confidence. I think I noticed that first year. Once I built confidence, it was like I had that mentality like, well, if we're playing football, man, the other team's best athlete can't bully me. Why am I gonna let someone bully me in the hallway? You know? So I became like, I guess I would defend myself more. And some people would stop because they'd be like, okay, well, he doesn't want to be fucked with.
how did weight training help you with your with Tourette's?
It's hard to say anything really helps you with Tourette's because it's not nothing really cures it, right? So it's more like number one, I think it gives you an outlet, like primarily gives you an outlet, right? Second, it gives you like a mental development of a sense of, I guess, who you are, right? And a lot of times I think it builds a lot of mental strength. So I don't want to say like I was just taking more shit from people, but it's not that I was taking more shit. It was, I mean, people are gonna constantly give me shit, but then it affected me less. So it didn't matter anymore. So I remember during like the school years, even like when I go outside, when I hang out with my friends, go to the mall, and then people would just be like looking at me and it would really bother me. Yeah. But then like, but nowadays it's like, I can't help how you feel, and I can't stop. I can't choose to not have Tourette's. So what can I do? We're really talking about mental health from an exercise standpoint and how that impacts not only your health but your ability to stave off the stress. You know, like not have it hit you so hard every single day. Because I mean, when people are actively bullying you all the time, like that can really add up. And if it's on a daily basis, like people always ask me like, how rare is Tourette's? I'm like, I don't think it's that rare. I think like a lot of people like might have a little, like a certain degree of it, but you just see them as tics. Like I'm sure like everybody knows someone that's always kind of squinting and kind of like has maybe a nervous gesture or an eye twitch all the time, right? But you don't really think they have Tourette's, right? It's like he has a nervous tic, right? You know, like maybe he has a mild case or something. But then like I also always think like maybe I'm lucky I was able to I didn't just hide in a room somewhere forever, right? I was forced myself to go outside, interact with society, deal with life basically. So I feel like there's probably a lot of people with Tourette's that need kind of a support, right? Need help to maybe just get out there. Like what football did for me. It's the first time for me to come out of my comfort zone, meet people, and have to interact with people as a team and compete against opponents and interact with other people that way. Mm-hmm. So there's a your team, the camaraderie portion of your socializing, mm-hmm. You're developing your social skills, but also confident enough to exert physical force onto opponents when you play games mm-hmm. against them. So like I think a lot of people that have Tourette's, they're probably in a room somewhere and they don't. Like nowadays, it's so easy, right? Mm-hmm. You have an internet, you have a computer, you don't have to leave your house, mm-hmm. right? You can do everything. Like you can do everything online. Mm-hmm. You don't have to talk to people. Mm-hmm. But how good is that for their mental health? Probably not very good, right? Mm-hmm. Like as soon as they leave the house, they might feel like powerless. They might feel like they're they're inadequate, or they can't do things that normal people do, mm-hmm. right?
Big pull.